Good afternoon. Thank you for joining me. Today we're going to be talking about Lisa Robinson, who is the current branch manager for Baron F. Black Library. She says know your own limits because she is aware that gaining your master's in library sciences is very straining and stressful. I do want to say she was very understanding of my last minute interview. Um, she knows the process of getting your master's, and she was very busy working on her branch report, which is kind of a detailing of branch activity and programming. So I can imagine that that was very stressful, and she was like, yeah, of course I'd work with you, of course you can interview me. So I was very grateful. The journey. So her personal journey, she began with a bachelor's in English lit special education, um, kind of close to the route that I wanted to go to. So this is a good leeway for me as well. Uh, this degree was against her patagotum, her teaching philosophy. So she wanted to move on to being a library assistant, which she enjoyed. Then she worked on getting her master's for library science. Um, but at the same time, she was pregnant, so it was difficult. So she gained a bunch of grants, family support, and somehow she made it through. Um, and then she became branch manager at Lafayette Branch part time. Then she worked as a youth associate supervisor for children's floor at the Slover, which impressive. She did enjoy being a youth associate. She kind of felt like it was being like a detective. Um, then she was in charge of an entire floor with 16 staff after this, which is amazing. Um, do I know how she did it? Not really, but good on her, man. That's amazing. Her routine. So she begins with the hold lists. So she's pulling books, sending books out. She's checking the building, making sure everything's up to code for the building. And if not, she sends it in to her supervisors. She does check-ins and she checks the staff. So she's checking to make sure that the staff are where they need to be. She's checking to make sure they know what they're supposed to be doing during that day. She's in her meetings, checking what meetings she has coming up. She's prepping for the meetings. She's greeting her patrons. And most importantly, she's also creating a comfortable zone for them. She's seeing if they need any help, providing whatever help they need. She's checking her emails, her quotes, and her paperwork. She's also communicating with her liaisons and her supervisors. She's ordering books. So any books that the community seems to need or want, she makes sure that they're in that library. Her journey, apologies, her work environment. So her work environment consists of four staff, which is a very small staff, but I think that she enjoys less workload so that she spends more time with her family. Um, she has a respectful and civil environment. She also encourages celebration of one another. So during birthdays, they celebrate those. They also give each other cards. I think that's amazing. A very light and positive environment. So they're very encouraging to one another. Organizations to explore. So my concern was that I didn't have enough suggestions. I wanted suggestions for my future. So she suggested some youth associations. She said youth association is a good way to go. It's easy to get in. It's easy to move around in. It's one of the first stepping stones to going where you need to be. She also suggests being an assistant. So she says that I should volunteer and I should also be a part time assistant because it's easier to become an assistant once you volunteered and already had your foot in the door. Um, Contact outreach programs. So she gave me some contacts for outreach programs. She recognized that I strive more in a positive work environment. She recognized that I like to see smiles in my own community every day. So she gave me some contact information for people to contact. youth resources at admin level. She also suggested that I should go to youth resources, contact the people at admin level, um, and maybe they would help me get into more programs. So here I have, I took some screenshots from youth associations, the youth association website, and here's one of the events that are coming up. Baron F. Black Library. They have this child program for like children to learn how to cope with kindergarten. Evolution. So we're talking about evolution, the way that libraries are growing and should grow. So we've got the heritage programs and sensitivity. That's a big concern. Um, she believes that the heritage program needs more sensitivity, which I can't help but agree. She once saw a promotion for the heritage program, and she believed that the culture that they were representing, that depiction was very insensitive and could be offensive to that culture. However, she does believe that they are growing still today. Um, there's growth in literature, for instance. Um, for instance, normally you would see a woman in a book with blonde hair, blue eyes, or red hair and green eyes. So now we're growing as to where we're representing other cultures, other heritages, other races. So now we're seeing African Americans as the protagonists, or we're immersing ourselves in other cultures once we open a book. Um, Technologies, innovation. She thinks that technology is very innovative. It's a way for libraries to grow, to adapt. So we're adding 3D printers, we're adding playstations, we're adding those in kid stations to allure them back into the library scene. Security and political disputes. So we're very fortunate to have federal funding. Norfolk is very fortunate. We're very liberal in that aspect. Um, so we're very secure in that. Help from community. We're receiving different funds and um, different inputs into our programming from the community, from Friends of Library. Um, so they're very much helping us in this aspect. Um, Volunteering. We have a lot of volunteering. We have a lot of volunteers that are putting in their efforts to push our library to become better. Less book challenges. We have less book challenges because we're so liberal in book selections. While other places are more conservative, um, we have less book challenges now. Commodities. So, for one, we have an open ear. Uh, Baron Branch has an open ear to all. So, anything that you need, you can just tell your branch manager, and she will keep an open ear on that. Programs for all communities. So we're making sure that we have programs uh, that go for the elderly, for the youth, for the homeless. So we're making sure that we are taking care of everybody in that community. We have potential for those with handicaps. So um, by what I mean by potential, this library is still growing. So they're looking into getting Braille. They had zoo passes. They might bring it back. They also currently have backpacks for hiking that include like maps and compasses and the park pass, that you can take out for like 2 weeks. Um, we have blood drives. We have polling. Um, Also, there are ADA accommodations for that library, which include like anyone who's handicapped. So the tables are lower for those in wheelchairs, which I think is amazing. Over here we have equipment library in this picture. So we have chargers, community sketchbooks for the youth, um, uh, the backpacks that I was talking about. We have Wi-Fi hotspots. salary. So there's a step program that she was detailing. I've looked into it. I have not found the exact definition of this program, but she did say that it was a 2.5% increase for cost of living. After a few years, you step into another paid bracket. So this is in the library branch. So you get a 2.5% increase after a few years of working in your certain branch. Overall, the branch manager salary for library two jobs is about 55,000, but it could have changed because of this step program. Future librarians. So we are hoping that future librarians will have more learning aspects within their education, um, because she hoped that, or she wished that she had certain accommodations during her learning. So, for instance, she wants people to work with the public in their communication. She wants communication to be an important part in our learning. Uh, she wants to, hopes that the future librarians can learn de escalation. um, so it's important to learn how to de-escalate situations. So, for instance, if there is a problem with someone in the library, like an unhomed person is giving like an odor, you would have to, if you got so many complaints, you would have to ask them to leave and come back once they are in a better situation. And if that escalates, you have to keep calm. You have to prioritize their mental health. You also have to promote mental health. So she wants people to learn how to help with the mental health situation going on today. She also wants people to learn prioritization. You have to prioritize certain situations over the other. Hope for the future. So, um, she thinks that we're going in a good direction as of current. I do agree in that situation in most aspects. So she wants consistent expanding. So if the culture, if the world is changing, if the generations are changing, the libraries need to accommodate. We need to keep up with the times. So if there's new technology out, we need to think: are there enough funding? Is there enough people asking for this technology to accommodate them? We also need to work on promotions. Promote, promote, promote. Libraries aren't promoting their accommodations enough. Like, for instance, the Slover has PlayStations. The Slover has a whole gaming room with TVs and arcade games, but I've never heard of it until I went there and saw it. So we need to promote these things because we're spending money on these things. So that is the end. I hope you enjoyed my presentation. Have a nice one.